it's Libby Bird. How are you all doing? We are back with Nancy Drew, Labyrinth of Lies. And this one, I'm going to try to get through as fast as I can. I know last episode was a little bit longer, so I'm going to try to keep these a little bit longer just so we can get through the game faster. So let's get started, shall we? I think the last thing we did was we got into the secret art room, or the art room for, I guess it was for Niobe. And so I'm going to check that off. If I can find it. Wait. Didn't I check? Yeah.
Check.
Okay, there it is. Alright, so now we need to... Let's see what else we can do first. Like, I still have not been able to get permission for that. Maybe I need to call that woman again. Well, let's see what we can do. I'm going to try to knock off all these as fast as I can on our task list. Gosh,
How
I
are
can't
things
speak.
going?
Okay.
Why is Niobe making copies of the art?
Not copies. Approximations.
I don't follow.
The concept of this whole debacle was maybe a bit too ambitious. It all came together in pieces until I was in over my head.
Tell me what you mean.
When the stage renovation became a reality, people started paying attention to our little museum again. Great, right? That let me attract patrons and set up loans, and bit by bit, the exhibit came together. And soon we had a world-class exhibit on our hands.
Sounds great to me.
It is, but it isn't. No one in all of Greece has heard of the Phidias Cultural Center. Here we are with a world-class exhibit and no eyes to enjoy it.
So that's where the play comes in.
Right. It was a new idea. We put the art where it belongs, right in front of the gods. Once the play is done, the audience can go see the very pieces shown on stage. But the real version, of course.
That's a
Right.
cool concept.
It is, but then comes the problem of how to copy the art, but not copy the art. Niobe had to sign some paperwork agreeing to use only certain materials, colors, and scale.
What?
So none of the copies could be confused with the originals, right?
Right. She's done a wonderful job, but we've had the owners breathing down our necks every step of the way. Every step. Never again.
Okay, so now that makes more sense.
You didn't move here until your late teens, is that true?
Yes.
When you told me about your love of the museum, I was under the impression you were much younger.
Memories blend as years extend.
That seems like a big detail to get wrong.
I'm not the one who got the details wrong. I spoke correctly. You heard incorrectly.
You gonna hang up on me again? Oh,
Later.
no.
Bye.
Basically, stop talking to me. Oh, it's charcoal. Okay. So, I still need to get into that girl's tablet. Alright. Hello? I have not been able to get to that. Let's go talk to creepy guy. Not that creepy
Speak.
guy.
Later.
So
Leave.
evidently I'm to that point where no one wants to talk to me, so I have to do things on my own, and I don't like that very much. We'll figure something out.
Do you like what you found in my bag?
He's back.
Sorry if that was intrusive, but I'm here to keep tabs on the museum.
Oh, then let me help you. The museum is on the exterior of the bag. The interior of the bag is not the museum. Museum?
Bag.
Not museum.
You've made your point.
See that I have.
If it's okay for me to say so, it seems like you had a bit of a rough time growing up.
We chose to put on a Greek tragedy. But when your parents die young, it's Dickens or nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
The hard days are over. Growing up alone had its perks. It taught me how to study people. When you don't have much power, you have to know how to read people in your life.
So it was something of a survival strategy?
You could say that. Each time they put me in a new home, I'd do my research. I'd listen, watch people, feel them out. Every once in a while, I'd strike gold and find a diary.
Why?
If I liked the family, I'd do my best to be what they wanted.
You didn't want to be yourself?
I didn't think I'd be okay if I did. I figured, if you're taking in a kid, there must be something you want. I try to be whatever or whoever was missing from their home until they realized that never works. Not a great way to grow up. But an actor couldn't ask for finer training.
That's like super sad. Like, talking about foster kids and growing up in a foster family. I didn't do it personally, but I know a really good friend of mine back in college that was a foster kid, and he told me how hard it was going from home to home and people just being completely different. Like, can you imagine that, growing up and you had to have different parents and some of them didn't want you and just gave you back? Like, that's just a hard thing to think of. And not just saying that they didn't want you, maybe they couldn't have you, or they weren't fit to have you. Like, it just didn't work out. And that right there is just a really sad thought to think on, because it's hard for anyone to go through that. Like, when people say they have that they don't like their family that they have, but it's their biological family. I mean, like, imagine yourself not having a family at all, and it's just, I don't know, it's all just really sad. It's really, really sad.
How did you get into acting?
It's not a proud story.
Are you okay telling me?
For you, dear, I'd do anything. I was discovered in the costume department,
Nothing embarrassing about that.
stealing a warm jacket.
Got it.
It was just my luck that the director of the theater needed some extras he couldn't afford. So for my first gig, I was paid in not going to juvenile lockup.
A few keywords to leave off the resume. I ran your background check.
Now why would you go and do a thing like that? It's already been done.
My friends have access to some pretty powerful resources. I have some bad news to report.
Should I sit down?
Maybe. According to my sources, you're not who you say you are.
Oh. I should probably be wearing something else then.
I know your background. My question is, why did you use a false name?
Not false. I changed it legally. I slipped a little, not enough, money in the envelope to keep the record sealed.
Is there a significance to the name you're using?
There is. All the significance in the world. Gregor is the man who caught me stealing. He ran the theater.
Is he a hero of yours?
Mentor, I guess. He said I was a natural on the stage, but hopeless at life. My boy, you're the only student I've ever had to teach how to stop acting. With each show and rehearsal, he gave me a space to get to really be myself for the first time.
He sounds very special.
The truth might just be that he was an average man who found an unfortunate kid. To me, he was great.
It's so sweet.
I think I just saw Niobe using a hidden door. That's your only reaction?
We're in a theater. Theaters are built for sneaking around in.
It wasn't in the theater. It was in the museum.
Oh, that's just to let the staff move without having to wade through the crowd. I know, it seems exciting, but hidden passages are only exciting the first time you see them. Then they're just poorly advertised doors.
Did he just, like, maneuver his way around that and just, like, change the subject?
Can you show me how to run the light board?
I'd love to, but I really don't have the time. You'll find a book on it somewhere.
Great. Thanks. That helps. You're standing right beside of it.
Why are you making copies of the art?
That's really Niobe's domain.
Did you know Niobe has a history as an art forger?
I did, and that's a very dramatic way of putting it.
Explain the difference to me.
It's the difference between cheating off a friend and robbing a bank.
Still, she did commit art forgery.
She hid behind her friend because she was timid. If you ask me, her so-called friend is the real criminal here, making millions while Niobe scrapes by.
Did I upset you earlier?
No. The show was starting to rest on my shoulders more and more. I needed to catch my breath.
What are your plans after the show?
One day, I'd like to open up a theater of my own.
That's
Maybe
awesome.
give back the gifts I was given.
I think that's a nice idea.
And I'd put Gregor's name on the marquee. Like I said, I'm just borrowing the name. I've been keeping it safe until I can put it where it belongs.
That's so cool.
Why were you casting the role of Plutus?
I knew I hadn't made my point.
I don't recall Plutus ever being in the Persephone myth.
Xenia had a sequence in mind where Demeter petitions all the gods. But it was too boring, too expensive, and did I mention too boring?
I can't find any records of your previous performances.
People don't really consider what we do to have much artistic merit. It's more like historical reenactments. No one reviews those.
About that Plutus casting sheet I found in your bag?
Which, let's remember, isn't part of the museum.
Something about it seems odd. Why would you be casting this late in the game?
I like working with undiscovered talent.
Wouldn't Xenia be casting? Wouldn't there be some reference to Plutus in the script somewhere?
You're unbelievable.
It's a trait you and I share, apparently.
I didn't lie. And don't you dare call anyone on that list.
My contacts are already on it.
Nancy, you have no idea what you just did.
Explain it to me.
With pleasure. For the last 5 years, I've been researching angel investors. You know what those are?
Yeah, they invest in new businesses when no one else will.
Those are my angel investors. Or were. For my theater. For Gregor's theater. It took years to get those names. They were coming to opening night, Nancy, and now they're gone. I promise it. Your contacts asking about me like I'm a crook?
If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to worry about.
Leave me alone. Now! Go and don't come back!
Ooh, really pissed him off. I'm gonna look in his bag again. So evidently something really interesting about that though. It was kind of a long dialogue there, but it is very interesting information.
Hello.
Why did you choose Persephone's story?
I didn't click with it at first, but now when we rehearse, when I'm in the meadow, waiting for Hades, in my mind, I don't see the narcissus flowers I'm gathering. I see the moments of my life when everything turns sour. But I see myself. The Persephone version of myself. And I am her. I know that's weird. That means there's something real about it.
Did you know about Niobe's career problems?
That she copied another artist's work?
Well, something like that.
Stop the questions there. I've never met anyone more regretful than Niobe.
Can I help with anything?
We're set. I can't keep distracting you from your job anyway.
Later.
Talk to you later.
Can I distract you from yours and so you can leave so I can check out your tablet, please? Like, please? Let me check my notes, like, Nancy, you're not on the ball with this because only 3 notes.
What is it?
Are you Niobe, the famous painter?
Was.
A friend of mine is obsessed with your work.
I don't want to hear about your friend or anyone else.
I'm sorry. Did I upset you?
You did. It's not your fault, but I had to snap at you.
That escalated quickly.
Why?
No one cared about my art, but they loved to look at the smoking wreckage of my career. I don't talk about that.
Okay, I respect that.
I'm starting over. I'm here. This is what I've got now.
Is the museum's collection the real reason you're here?
What makes you ask that? I'm supposed to be trying new things in my life. That's what everyone says. Move on. Be new. Try new things. Don't dwell.
Sorry if I offended. It just seems like a pretty rare chance to
keeps
study
on
all of this
offending.
great work.
Oh, guilty. I heard different words from what you meant. I can't even begin to tell you what it's like. When I was small and the other girls were crushing on the boys, I was falling in love with Phidias. No joke. A terminal art girl from the jump. Which reminds me, in case it's contagious, I've got books for you. Learn the language and art will speak to you. If I wasn't so terrified of that nightmarish amphitheater, I'd be skipping around the place.
What's your art background?
I completed my first piece, oatmeal on vertical plaster wall, at 6 months. It was magnificent. From there, it was variations on a similar theme.
So you came to it naturally?
I came to loving it naturally. The rest was a struggle. But I always loved the study, especially the old Greek masters. Look around the museum. You're in the presence of greatness. Art is the physical manifestation of men and women reaching across thousands of years to share their secrets. And secrets never come easy. But they also never leave your heart. They're reaching out for you, Nancy. See them and reach back.
So deep for me right now. I can't.
Could an
even-
artist create an exact copy of the art on display?
Who are you trying to fool?
An expert, I guess.
Which expert?
Any expert.
That's the trick. That's why most forgery doesn't work. Each expert speaks a different language. Some are chemists. Some focus on the process until they dream in brushstrokes, patina, and lacquers. It's easy to fool one expert. Impossible to fool every expert.
Could you?
I couldn't fool any expert, let alone every expert.
Do you have access to much of the museum's art?
I get to study what's out and already cataloged, but I can't get at the rest.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
I'm so tired already because I've listened to all this. Oh my gosh. All this dialogue, but we have to get it out of the way or else like... Ooh, okay, let's get some paper then. Like, let's go and rub this off onto this piece of paper. Dude. Dude, what?
Did anyone ever tell you you look just like Alexandra?
Not surprisingly, no.
She was one of the best painters of ancient Greece. How good is she, you ask?
I'll take your word.
She had a crater named after her.
Oh, wow, that's just great.
On Venus!
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Follow in her footsteps. Here.
What's this?
You're painting that on a vase.
I'll do my best, but it might not look exactly like the reference.
Make your mark on the world. And be a friend to a stranger.
No problemo.
Thank you. I'm so behind you have no clue.
What kind of vase is it? Okay, so it's this kind.
One vase for Niobe coming right up.
A lot of precision in this, like, for real. Ah, this looks so horrible, guys. It's a little bit off, but it'll just have to do. There, I guess. Oh, it looks horrible.
Not bad. Maybe Niobe was right. I am a true artist.
I mean, it's not terrible, like...
Looks like it needs more time.
Okay.
What now?
Is this workshop yours?
We need to use props for the show. We're pretending they're actual statues and artifacts, because we can't use the real things.
So you make fakes?
No! No. Not fakes. There's a process in place. The last thing the museum wants is confusion about what's real and what isn't.
You said you can't use the real artwork on stage, right?
Of course not.
Xenia told me you will be using real pieces.
Maybe there's been a change in the rules.
You're not sure?
I get a bit lost in my work. So maybe we are using some actual pieces. I don't know.
But wouldn't you know because you're the one that's making the
I'll let you
artwork in
go.
the first place?
Goodbye.
Girl, get your act straight. Get your
I need to wait
straight.
until the last base is fired.
Okay, let's do the rubbings. Sounds so wrong. Oh, I wanted to do it manually. Why did I? It did it for me. Weirdo over here. Let's see if he wants to talk to me.
Don't get too wrapped up in Gregor's sad stories.
Why not?
Your contacts are not so trustworthy.
What do you think of Gregor?
He wants to sit on my shoulder like a parrot telling me what to do.
Should I take away some meaning from that?
Little men only stand next to big men when they think they're smarter. He isn't.
Is it strange that Niobe's making so much art for the play?
I don't care.
Did you know Gregor is using a fake name?
Yes, why is that your business?
I'm just a curious person.
Dang. Like,
I gathered
coming
it.
at me like,
You're not bothered he was holding back information from you?
He plays his part. That's enough.
What did you mean when you said my contacts are not so trustworthy?
Your contacts have contacts. No one is ever out of reach.
Of whom?
Me.
That's so
Go.
creepy, bruh.
Later.
He's like super
Leave.
mean, like rude. Like some girls are turned on by that, but I'm not. There's the etching I need to rub. Almost got the alphabet. Scary, man. Yay! Now what do I do with this?
That's done.
Okay guys, I'm going to stop the episode right here, and I'll see you all in the next episode. And thank you so much for watching, and as always, you can like me on Facebook at facebook.com/LibbyBirds with an S. You can also add me on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. And I'll see you all again in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.